Hey guys, just got back from the gym. Wanted to do a quick news update. Just going to go to the CNBC homepage and see what we got. Let me, screen share. That's right, quickly, screen share. Okay. Boom, there we go. All right. So back to the CNBC homepage. Got this blown up for you. Yep. So we've got stocks pretty much flat today. Let me check my phone. Oh no, I'm sorry. Up 332 points. So stock futures, I guess for tomorrow, flat. One thing I noticed, GameStop, it's kind of getting old talking about that, but it was down again today. I guess Robinhood started letting people buy a few more shares, still down about, down a lot, down to $50. Like I said in my videos over the past few days, I say it'll probably go down to, $30, something like that. It could go back down to where it was. I think there'll be some people that just hang on for the sake of it, but I don't think it's going to stay around this level. I think people just kind of lose interest and sell and kind of move on. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Oh, okay. So one thing I noticed is that Fauci says it's important to wear a mask even after getting COVID shot. Okay. And I get it. It's the COVID shot is supposed to keep you from getting symptoms. Again, in that case, we should be giving it to old people and people that weigh 400 pounds and with diabetes. That should be the prerequisite. We should not be giving it to neighborhoods based on how advantaged or disadvantaged they are. It should be all based on the numbers. But my point in bringing this up is to say that this mask thing, I mean, it's not going away anytime soon, in my opinion. I think that even if 100% of the people were vaccinated in the United States, we're just going to come up with another reason, it's just, again, it goes right back to the Patriot Act. We're just going to keep coming up with more reasons for your safety. For your safety, just to keep doing these things. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't or you should wear a mask, totally up to you. I think it should be your choice. I'm not here to say that masks work or they don't. It's a completely separate video. All I'm saying is that I think this type of additional government oversight and government suggestions, let's say, will be with us for a long, long time. And I think it's going to further the divide between certain groups. I think now, all of a sudden, before you could kind of, if you saw Moody the millennial with their blue hair, you could say, okay, well, they're probably way on the left or something like that. Or if you saw some guy with a MAGA hat, driving a monster truck, oh, he's a Trump supporter. But now, wherever you go to a hockey game, you go to a music event, you go into a bar, a restaurant, and immediately we're going to be able to tell, which way someone votes most likely. And I'm not saying that's right. I'm saying that's bad. That's really bad, because the more we treat people as though they're just a group instead of judging them as an individual, the worse our society is going to get, the more violence, the more social unrest, and the more divisive our society is going to become. We need to go back to treating people as individuals and not members of just some group. Yeah, so they're talking about jobs growth likely to bounce back in January. This always is kind of bizarre to me because we've put, call it 200,000 or hundreds of thousands of small and mid-sized businesses, which are the job engine of the economy. We put them out of business. And you may say that's good because we had to do it. Fine. The bottom line is there's hundreds of thousands of businesses that provided jobs that were there a year ago and are not here today. And we like to, and especially CNBC, when I'm saying we, like to think that jobs equal Apple, Google, Facebook, American Airlines. That's just what you hear about in the media. So as long as American Airlines is doing great, oh, well, then we should have booming job growth. As long as Apple is doing well, as long as Facebook, as long as Snapchat and Uber, as long as they're doing well, what do we got to worry about? They don't understand that small and mid-sized business is by far the majority of the jobs in the United States, in the economy. So we should really not even be concerned with American Airlines to a certain degree. We should be concerned with the dry cleaner down on the corner. Let me tell you a story. I just pulled up, I was looking for a tailor here for some clothing I have. So I just went to my Apple map thing, just on your phone. And I just went, I'm near this place called the Biltmore. So I just typed in tailor. And sure enough, there was a tailor that popped up right in the Biltmore area. And I looked at their reviews. They looked awesome. They did custom men's suits. And I mean, just looked top shelf. All their Yelp reviews were great. So I called them up and I said, hey guys, where are you located? Oh, I'm sorry, sir. We had to close that location down. Oh, wow. Okay, man, why is that? Why do you think? Cerveza sickness, sir. Sir, we just didn't have any more business. The cerveza sickness, we just had to close it down. I'm sorry. We were there for 25 years or whatever it was. They were there for a long time. We were there for a long time. We had to close it down. Okay. Sorry to hear that. My point is when we see a lot of those types of businesses closing, when we're looking for job growth or solid job growth, we have to look at the tailors that are at the Biltmore that unfortunately aren't there anymore. Another quick anecdotal story is I eat lunch sometimes at this place down Camelback, so west on Camelback from where I am. Camelback's a main road here. And you go by all these car dealerships and you see some little businesses around there between, call it 16th Street and Central. And I mean, business after business after business. The doors are just boarded, shut down, out of business. I know there's a Hertz rental car right there that's just got a huge corner lot and just boarded up. The only thing you can see are just homeless people that are there like camping in the parking lot and under the cover where the front door is. And then you keep going down going down the street. And then you start seeing there's a business over here, a business over here that are just booming. There's like lines of people at the front door wrapped around the corner. And you're like, oh, well, thank goodness. At least there's some sort of business activity, some sort of economic output that's productive. Great. I wonder what that business is doing. Oh, they're selling weed. Makes sense. You go down, you look at the next business where you see all the cars parked in front. Oh, well, boy, maybe they're selling widgets or they're doing something to be productive for the economy. What are they selling? Sure enough, they're selling weed. So every store that's jam-packed is either selling weed or liquor. And all the other stores are closed down with homeless people living in the parking lot. But we go to the homepage of CNBC and hey, it looks like jobs growth is likely to bounce back in January, because all they're doing is getting hyper focused on these giant corporations that have received corporate welfare from the Fed and from the government, and these zombie corporations that we've propped up just like Japan. And somehow that is supposed to equate to the broad real economy. And it's laughable. And I just cannot believe that these people that are at these talking heads don't see that. You know what? I think it's just that they live in their own little bubble. I think they probably have like a person that goes to the store for them, so they never go grocery shopping. They probably have a driver that just takes them from the CNBC studios, maybe to their high-rise apartment building. They've got a gym, a doorman, a valet, and I'm not opposed to that. I live the exact same way, but I don't think they ever take the time to get outside of that bubble. When's the last time they just took a drive through Pennsylvania or through Arkansas or Missouri and just went to some small towns like that and saw how other people live? They saw how people outside of Wall Street actually live. They might get a little bit different idea of what's going on in the economy. The economy doesn't consist of the CNBC studio, their nearest Whole Foods, and their apartment building where they live in their $2 million or New York $5 million condominium, and then going out to all the nicest restaurants with their cronies and the politicians that they like to rub elbows with, and all the hedge fund managers in their limousines. I could go on and on about this stuff, but I think you guys get my point. And I didn't even see this, but a lot of times young people on my live streams ask me if they should pay off their student debt because they always hear Dave Ramsey or Susie Orman or something like that talking about it. No, don't pay it off. Why would you pay it off? Think about how you would feel if you saved and scrimped and just, you worked extra hard to really save every dime and nickel you possibly could. You didn't go to Starbucks. You didn't go out with your friends for 3 years straight just because you took Dave Ramsey's advice and you wanted to get out of debt and go down to his studios and scream at the top of your lungs that I'm debt free, right? And then all of a sudden, Biden comes in and says, "Oh yeah, sorry, we're canceling 50 grand in student debt." Good job there. Good job. So I'm not saying don't pay it off. I mean, make the minimum payment for heaven's sakes. Don't have it affect your credit score negatively. But I just can't even fathom just saving and making higher payments than the absolute minimum, especially when you've got such a low interest rate. And I mean, it's like having well, I guess it's not like that because I don't think that the rate is fixed. But currently, I would argue the rate of inflation is probably higher than the interest rate. So no, I would not pay this off. All right, that's the front page, and that's my thoughts on the front page of CNBC. And you know what? If we had any more time, I'd get into this because I'm sure this is another article where I would have some pretty strong views and disagreements. to financial experts share advice on the smartest ways to finance home renovations. Oh, geez. Yeah. All right. I think we've gone on long enough. Yeah, 14 minutes. You guys have heard me rant on. Okay. So any quick questions here, guys? I've got to take off and run a couple errands before I do member live stream. Yeah, I mean, if you're describing you paid off 40 grand in debt, I hope it wasn't student loan debt. But I mean, if it is, it is. I guess if it helps you sleep well at night, then there's something to be said for that. And every person is different. Me personally, if I had an extra 40K in debt and I was just making, even if I was making 40 or 50 grand a year and I had 40K in student loan payments and it was like $200 or $300 a month, I still would consider it a wise investment to just make the minimum payment for the next year and see how it pans out. I mean, just think about how much interest you're actually saving by just making a year, or just think about how much interest you're paying, or how much interest you would save by not making just a year of payments, like paying it off earlier. It's not that much. I mean, basically, here's the decision you make. You say, let's just say you'd pay, I don't know, $400 of interest. I doubt it would even be that much. Maybe it would. So let's say you pay $400 of interest over the next year. So the question is, would you pay $400 for what is basically buying a call option on your debt being paid off within the next year, where the upside is $40,000 and your downside is you lose the $400? And then you weigh the probabilities of Biden or the Harris administration actually making that move. I don't know, man. I think you do what's best for you. Those are my thoughts. Yeah, so I did see that Macro Voices with Russell Napier about repressive inflation. Totally agree. Totally agree. And in fact, I was going to do a video on that. I'll probably do that next week, because that's a really powerful idea going back to the 1970s. Russell's a super smart guy, obviously. So is Eric. And with Russell Napier talking about stagflation and the government coming in and trying to micromanage the economy, and the Fed most likely combining the balance sheets with MMT, creating more money supply. But then in order to fight inflation, they would have to take the power of money creation away from the commercial banking system. That was kind of the idea. And then they'd have to combine that, or they would most likely combine that with price controls. And that made a whole lot of sense to me. And so I'm definitely going to be thinking through that next week for a whiteboard video. Okay. Yeah, guys, I got to get going. I got to get to run this errand here. The valet guys have my car waiting out there for me. So let me do some shout out. Oh, Angelique is here. Angelique, hopefully you've sold some t-shirts. If you guys haven't checked out Angelique's store, do so. Angelique, you should put your link to your store there to get your Don't Get Cloused t-shirt. Make sure you get that one. I'm wearing some good t-shirts. I got my Johnny Cash. I got my Johnny Cash t-shirt on today. I had my Don't Get Cloused t-shirt. I had the Rebel Capitalist t-shirt on the other day. I got some good t-shirts in the old closet right now. So, Angelique, thanks for hanging out. Ultimate Bargains, Jim Wolf, Reed, Bill McKenna, Edge Brand Agency, James Manfield, Peter, Julius, Newman, EBC, Adamson Flint, Vinny Rodriguez, Rachel, Michael Williams, Jackie, Ken McMahon, Peter Frowen, Josh VT, Steve Z, Mitchell Goslin, Mike P, Josh VT. All right, guys. Enjoy your evening, and I will see you on the next video. Make sure you check out the whiteboard video tonight on the George Gammon channel. It'll be coming out late. We're editing it right now, but you guys are going to love it. I can read you the title right here on my whiteboard. It is "The Economy is Collapsing." What I'm implying is we are in a Great Depression 2.0, but here's how to fix it. On tonight's video, I not only tell you what's wrong with the economy, I tell you how the mainstream economists and Keynesians think we should fix it, and then I tell you how common sense says we should fix it. So check out that whiteboard video tonight, guys. We'll see you on the next one. And on this channel, I'll see you tomorrow.